All right, Harmony Science Academy College Prep students, let's go ahead and get into today's lesson. Again, Zig Ziglar remind you that if something goes down, you're failing a class, a grade, and you point at teachers, at school, at principals, that's a problem. If you're pointing at yourself, you're asking, what can I do better? What should I have done? That's a good thing, okay? All right, you guys want to see what Google has to say about polynomial and long division? We're going to be looking at these problems. Here is our title. Here's our objective, divide. Okay, or you can put divide polynomials. And we're going to look at between easy, medium, and hard. We'll look at an easy and hard. Okay. Number one is the first one we'll look at. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to this, notice that you've got this trinomial been divided by 8p. Okay. So another thing you want to notice is that you have the exponents written from largest to smallest, okay? And if there's any gap, you put a 0, okay? So let's go and see what this looks like. 32p sixth plus 2p to the 5th plus 4, or excuse me, p to the 4th, okay? Okay, there's our trinomial, 8p. So basically just look at the numbers. 8 goes into 32 4 times. And there's 1p here. How many more do I need to get to 6? Let's go and put 5. You multiply, you get 32p to the 6th. And you guys remember the old school, you subtract, you get 0. Done. Okay. Now we bring down the next term. Okay. So 8 times what? 8 doesn't go into 2, so 8 times what will give you 2? Okay, you might have to think about that, but that's 1/4. Okay, 1/4 will give you a 2. And how many p's do I need to make up 5? I need 4. Okay, so now 1/4 of 8 is 2. And 4 p's with 1 p gives you 5. So you subtract that. That one cleans out nice. And then we have p to the 4th. Okay? All right. So on this one, 8 times something should give us a 1, right? That's 1/8. 1/8 of 8 is 1. Okay, there's an invisible 1 there. And I have 1p here. I need 3 more. When I multiply p cubed times p, I get what? P to the 4th. So now I have 1/8 times 8 is 1, right? That's an invisible 1. And 3 p's with another p gives you p4. So we subtract that and we get a 0. And we're done. This is a remainder. There's no remainder, so we're done. Okay? All right. If there was a remainder, you can put it like this, plus 0 over 8p. Okay? But there isn't. But just keep that in mind in case it pops up. Okay? All right. All right, so that was easy. Hopefully you do find it easy. We'll do some in class. Let's go and take a look at a tougher looking problem. Okay? Now here we have a binomial dividing this polynomial, okay, with 4 terms. So notice that it's not in order from the largest exponent to the smallest, so it's a quick fix. Let's split it, okay? So I'm going to go 7 n cubed, okay? If there was no n squared, I would put 0 n squared. That's it. That's simple, okay? But there is an n squared, so I'm going to use the one they gave us. But that part right there is very important, okay? All right, minus 10n squared plus 20n plus 23. Okay, they didn't put it in the right order. That's why it's tougher, so make sure you do it. Okay? All right, so take a look at that, see what you think. All right, so 7 goes into 7 one time. And I have 1, and I need 2 more, so I'm going to put n squared. Okay? All right. Now, as far as how we continue, we're going to carry this multiplication out here. So this times that, right? So we have 1 times 7 is 7. 1n and the 2 more is 3. But I've got to deal with this part, so now I have what? Plus 4n squared. Okay, I'm going to subtract this. So you have to be careful, you're subtracting this whole thing, okay? This part cancels, and here I have negative 10 minus 4, so I have negative 14 and squared. Okay, now I bring down this next guy. Okay, all right. Where are we at? All right, so now I gotta ask myself, how many times does this go in here? Okay, so, or maybe a better question is, this times something equals negative 14. Maybe that is a better way to look at it. So 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. This has two ends. I only have one, so I need to include another one. Okay, and if I multiply this with this, I get negative 14n squared. Okay, now I have to multiply this with this, so I get minus 8n. Okay, and I have to subtract this whole thing. Okay. This cancels, cool. This is 20 plus 8, so that's 28n. Okay, and I bring down this last guy, 23. Okay, so the question is, how many times does 7n go into 28n? If you were thinking 4, good. Okay, so this times this gives us 28n, and the 4 and this 4 is 16. Okay, and let's go ahead and make some room here. I'm going to take this whole thing, I'm going to subtract it. This cancels. Now I have 23 minus 16, which is what? 7. Okay, so that 7 is kind of left, kind of floating there, right? So that's what would be considered the remainder. So I'm going to go ahead and put plus the 7 over this right here. Okay, because this last part, there's nothing I can do to continue dividing, so that's how we write the remainder. Okay, all right, hopefully that made sense. We'll still get some practice as a whole class, and then once you guys get your confidence up, we'll go ahead and break you guys up into your partners. All right, catch you in class.